What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Dog, and a lifelong sports fan. Guys, thank you so much to the 179 of you who have decided to subscribe to my channel and follow me. It means a lot to me. This time last year, I think I was sitting at about 40 or 50 people. To have tripled that in this short time really means the world to me. Trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the 2023 season. I would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button, help me reach more people. Thank you so much to the 400 plus people who watched my last video. Can't believe it blew up that much for me. Again, I know this is like small potatoes for YouTube, but to me, where my average video gets like 30 to 40 views and this one getting 400, that was a big thing for me. I know it's probably because the Falcons lost, but still, it is what it is, and I'm glad to have the support. Thank you for anybody who's returning because of that video. But let's jump into it. We are going into another week of pickups. This is the last week before we start getting to some bye weeks. So we still have all 16 teams to go. And right quick, we're going to jump into it. Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers on a Thursday night. Now, Detroit Lions, I still have faith that they are going to win this division. I believe Dan Campbell has his team rocking. They obviously shut out the Falcons in terms of offense, and the Falcons beat Green Bay. Detroit beat the Falcons. You would think that Detroit would win this game, but I do think that Jordan Love is in the same category, or not necessarily the same category, but of the same ilk as your Aaron Rodgers and your Brett Favre of the past. I think he is actually going to be that guy. Unfortunately for the rest of the NFC North, it looks like the Packers do have a long-term quarterback solution, and I think that they're going to find a way to win. I will go ahead and spoiler this. This year, I have these two teams splitting home and away. So I'm giving each of them the home game this year. So give me the Green Bay Packers. Only 26% of people are picking that one. But this is going to be kind of one of my upsets of the week. We're going to go with the Green Bay Packers. Then let's jump into it with a 9:30 kickoff time. The wonderful London game. Atlanta Falcons going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville looking for their future home in London. But the Atlanta Falcons coming off of a really hard, devastating loss where we played fairly competent defense overall. Didn't get a lot of pressure, or at least couldn't turn that pressure into sacks, which is what we're trying to do. But overall played well. Jacksonville Jaguars falling to the Houston Texans, who we all believed were going to be bad, but all C.J. Stroud has done is look like the best rookie quarterback so far, and it's looking like it's starting to turn into a two-man race for the offensive rookie of the year between Bijan Robinson and C.J. Stroud. Those two are going to get to play in a couple of weeks. But to start out here, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons at the Jaguars. I do think the Falcons bounce back. I think that Ritter bounces back. And I think if we just run the damn ball right out the gate, not 3 straight pass plays, not passing when we need to be trying to establish a run, let's actually try to run the ball. There's no world where Desmond Ritter needs to be throwing 38 times. Meanwhile, you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got Calvin Ridley. They've got Christian Kirk. They have not looked like they've been putting it all together since week 1. They had a bad loss. I think the Falcons could go and put the Jacksonville Jaguars on their heels. I don't think the AFC South is theirs for the taking anymore. I think it's up in the air now. So give me the Falcons because I'm not picking against this. Even though I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars are probably going to win it, give me my Falcons. I'm not going against that in the pigskin pick'em. Then we go to the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. This is a tough game for me to pick. It's in Buffalo. I think this game is in Buffalo in the wintertime. I'm picking Buffalo. Right now, Miami is firing on all cylinders. Buffalo looks like it is firing on all cylinders. This should have been a game that was flexed into the 8 o'clock time slot for Sunday Night Football, because I don't know what that looks like right now. Let's see, who's Sunday Night Football? Oh, I don't even know. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Oh, God, it's the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets. That was supposed to be a good matchup, but either way, we'll get to that game in a minute. I don't have a lot to say. Both of these teams are very good. Both of them are going to be playoff teams. Both of them are going to be Super Bowl contenders. But because they have looked so good, I think Miami Dolphins are going to win this game. I think Buffalo may get them later in the year, but I think Buffalo is about to be 2-2 and Miami is about to be 4-0. Give me the Miami Dolphins in a very close game, closer than a lot of people are thinking it may be. Then we get the winless Denver Broncos at the winless Chicago Bears. Both teams just looking like hot freaking garbage. Both teams have the worst 2 defenses in the league by scoring numbers. Denver at least has somewhat of an offense, and because Denver has somewhat of an offense, this is not Russ's fault. Russ has not not been the problem this year. He was absolutely the problem last year, but they've just reversed the problem. So now you have the defense being bad, historically bad this past week, and an offense that, is just kind of low-end mediocre, going up against Chicago Bears, who have low-end offense, low-end defense. I don't think the Bears are that good of a team. I think they're in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes already, and I think Justin Fields is a failed experiment. Give me the Denver Broncos here. Then we'll get to the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore just keeps getting hurt and more hurt and even more hurt. And I feel bad for them, but they ended up losing this past week to, I believe it was Indianapolis this past week, who Gardner Minshew led and beat them. Baltimore Ravens just don't look like a great team right now. America thinks almost a 2-1 pick for the Baltimore Ravens over the Cleveland Browns. But Cleveland, as bad as I want them to be without Nick Chubb, and thank God he only tore his MCL, so as bad as that injury looked, he should be back next season, and hopefully it's not a career injury like we all thought. But Cleveland Browns, they have possibly the best defense in the entire NFL. It's at home in Cleveland. I think the Cleveland Browns will find a way to win this game in the long run. Give me the Cleveland Browns. I'm picking some upsets so far. Then we go to a game that I'm not going to take the upset on. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee getting absolutely shut out by Cleveland last week. Cincinnati having a little bit of a tough go against the Rams, who I think are a better team than a lot of people do. And again, Cincinnati ended up finding a way to win and kind of redeem the Super Bowl loss from a couple of years ago. I do think that that's a stepping stone for them in the right direction. Tennessee, they are also in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. They need to be looking at quarterback for the future. I don't know if Will Levis is the guy. We'll probably see him at some point this season, but it won't be this week. And then we're also not sure about Malik Davis. I don't remember his name. It's the guy they took last year. I don't think he's that good either. But we'll see. Derrick Henry got absolutely shut down by the Cleveland Browns. I think he'll have more success this week. But give me the Cincinnati Bengals. They are not going to start 1-3, whereas the Titans very well and should start 1-3 the way they're playing. Then we go to the Los Angeles Rams at the Indianapolis Colts. This one is a tough game for me to pick. Again, because the Rams, I think, are better than a lot of people believed that they would be at the beginning of the year. But so are the Colts. The Colts are playing pretty competent football overall. We still don't know about Anthony Richardson, but he's looking good when he's healthy. He had a concussion in Week 2. Wasn't cleared to play for Week 3. They're trying to be very safe with him. They don't have any incentive to play him before he's ready, so they're trying to be very safe there. And LA Rams, Stafford's not done. He's still got Puka Nacua. He's still got Tutu Atwell. They didn't do as much with Kyron Williams, but they have weapons on offense, and they're managing to find a way on defense. Again, they do have Aaron Donald, possibly the best defensive player in all of the NFL, and his leadership is finding a way to make that team work. I don't know how, but they're doing some voodoo magic to make it happen. This game's in Indianapolis. I could definitely see Indianapolis winning this game, but I am going to go with the Rams just because I believe in Stafford a little bit more, and he's my Georgia boy. Then we go to an NFC South divisional matchup. This is going to have big implications for our division. Tampa Bay at the New Orleans Saints. Now, Derek Carr is hurt. He may be out for several weeks. You got Jameis Winston stepping in, but their defense is very, very good. And Jameis Winston is still a semi-competent quarterback. This will be a revenge game for him against Tampa Bay, and I do believe that they're going to find a way to do it. Tampa Bay did not look good. They looked like the team we expected them to be against Philadelphia Eagles. I think they did not pass the litmus test against a team that actually has Super Bowl aspirations, whereas they beat up on two teams that were both sub-500 prior to that. I still think their offense is good, but I think that the defense for the Saints is better. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. I don't know what the over-under is. I'd probably lean on the under. This is a game I could easily see being 19-7 or 21-10, something like that. But give me the New Orleans Saints here. Then we're going to go to the Washington Commies at the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington getting completely shut out by the Buffalo Bills this past week. Sam Howell not looking particularly good. Eric Bieniemy's offense not working very well, whereas Philadelphia Eagles are just consistently good. They're good on the ground. They're okay through the air. They're going to find ways to win, and their defense with Jalen Carter, who we did pass on Falcons, is possibly likely going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Combine that with Jordan Davis, with Nakobe Dean, all the other Georgia guys, they literally are the Philadelphia Bulldogs, and they have some of the top talent from Georgia the last two seasons as back-to-back national champions, who, again, won based on their defenses. So they've taken the top-tier talent from there, and it's translating to the NFL very well so far. I don't have a lot else to say about this game. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. Then we go to another 1 o'clock game. We got a couple more to talk about here. Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Another game where somebody's got to win. Bryce Young, not looking great. He is looking like those measurables are going to be a problem for him in the long run for the NFL. It doesn't help that his offensive line kind of sucks. They are going to need to lean on the run game. I do think they could do it in this game because Minnesota Vikings are not particularly good against the run or the pass. Minnesota Vikings, though, Kirk Cousins is not your problem. I know you guys are saying that Kirk Cousins has been an issue for you. You know, you're not going to win with him. He has not been a problem. All he has done is play like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And he's putting up the numbers. He's not necessarily turning the ball over in key spots. I know he's not always getting the third down that you need, but my God, your defense is bad. It's been bad for several years now. You should have easily more playoff appearances and wins if your defense was even halfway competent compared to what what your offense has been doing. If the Minnesota Vikings don't win this game, they absolutely should look to maybe trade Kirk Cousins and start thinking about the future, try to enter into the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. They are not going to get rid of Justin Jefferson, but let me go ahead and say I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings in this one. They're going to come out of this 1-3, and we're going to have Carolina Panthers at 0-4. I think it's going to be a relatively close game, though. But yeah, that's what I think on that one. Then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Houston Texans. Again, this is where I think C.J. Stroud has looked great through 3 games. Even though they haven't won, he's looked great through 3 games, and I think this is where it all comes crashing down. And it's not because the Pittsburgh Steelers' offense is electric. It's because their defense is top 3 unit in the NFL, and they are about to feast on a poorly defended C.J. Stroud. I think he is going to have a very, very tough day against the Steelers. Mike Tomlin is going to find ways to get pressure on him. T.J. Watt is likely to wreak havoc in the backfield there. So, yeah, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers here. It's going to be a defensive slug, probably another low-scoring game overall. Pittsburgh will probably win something like 24-14 when it's all said and done. But give me Pittsburgh here. Houston does have a bright future, though. They did get exactly what they needed for the future. And they're going to be competitive this year. But, yeah, give me the Steelers. Then we move on to a 4 o'clock game. We got the Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. Raiders on a 2-game losing streak, and the Chargers coming off of a win against the Vikings. Chargers are in a very similar spot to the Vikings. Defense sucks, offense great. And again, Justin Herbert, he did just lose one of his favorite weapons in Mike Williams for the year on an ACL tear, but he still got Joshua Kelly. They've got Quentin Johnston, who they took in the first round, and is likely going to see more time now. So this is going to be an interesting game. The Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and hot garbage on defense. I just don't like this team. I think it's a very uninspiring team. It's got some bright spots, some talent, but nothing seems to be clicking well for the Raiders. It's in L.A., so it's probably going to actually end up being a pseudo-home game for the Raiders. Sorry, I know it's a low blow to the Chargers fans here. And then the other reason I'm going to pick the Chargers, go Josh Harris, the long snapper for their team. He is a former Falcon, 9-year veteran for the Falcons, all-pro veteran, Pro Bowl vet for the Falcons. He is good year in, year out, and he's a friend of the channel, so I'm going to say go Chargers, go. Then we move on to the New England Patriots and Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys getting absolutely embarrassed at the Arizona Cardinals, who we all thought would be one of the worst teams in the league this year. But the Cardinals, through 3 games, are proving to be a tough out and a surprising team. So a tough out in the sense that they're not giving up in any of their games so far. Even though they allowed a 31-point comeback to the New York Giants, they still put up 28 against them, and had they had a little bit better coaching, they probably win that game. So the Cardinals, they're not laying down to die, and I can't wait to see what happens when Kyler Murray comes back, because I think that's actually going to give them a little bit more hope. Now, if they do find a way to go into a winning streak for the Cardinals, I think they should stick with Josh Dobbs. That's just my thoughts. But getting back to this, New England Patriots, solid defense, not so great offense through several games now. Dallas Cowboys, amazing offense, hurt now on defense. If they get their offensive line healthy, I think Dallas wins this one. America's picking them 90% to 10%. I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas as well. Then, again, we're going on to the next game. Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers. Again, this could be a surprise game. This could absolutely be a trap game for the 49ers, but I don't think it will be. This is going to be a 49ers at-home slugfest. I do think they end up winning, but again, Cardinals could find a way to make this game close. I don't think it'll really end up doing that, because this is probably the best team that the Cardinals have actually faced so far. But give me the San Francisco 49ers. They are just rocking on offense. rocking on defense as well. I don't have a lot more to say about that. Then we're going to go on again to the Sunday night game. Tom Grassi, I feel bad for you, man. You are streaming every single primetime game, and this is not one that I envy for you at all because this is going to be an absolute garbage fest. I don't think it's going to be like a super close game with the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Jets. But I do think that the Jets' defense could keep this as a lower scoring affair than a lot of us want it to be. Again, you've got Zach Wilson. He is a very uninspiring leader. They need to do something different at quarterback. They are a team that should probably trade for Kirk Cousins if the Falcons don't at some point later on in the season. I think Taylor Heineke will end up being the safety valve that the Falcons do release later on if Desmond Ridder shows that he cannot lead the team. But, the New York Jets absolutely should be in talks for Kirk Cousins if the Vikings are out of contention at any point this season. But give me Kansas City Chiefs. You've got, what are they calling it? Telsey with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. This is Kansas City, by having those two date, has become America's team. Sorry, Dallas Cowboys. Give me Kansas City Chiefs. I don't have a lot to say here. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Then we go to Monday night. We have just one game this time. Seattle Seahawks at the New York Giants. The New York Giants still not a particularly good team, not looking good. Seattle Seahawks coming off of a 2-game win streak here. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be the team that we thought they were. They're going to be a team that could be a playoff team, probably a wild card spot. And again, I think they're better overall. I don't think New York has the weapons, and I don't think they have the defense to stop them, even though it's in New York and even though they have guys like Saquon who may be back this week. Give me the Seattle Seahawks. I don't have a lot else to say there. Guys, that's all I got for you. We've made it through 16 games here. I don't think I missed any of them along the way. Please continue to follow along with the Pigskin Pick'em. I am officially 32-16, went 11-5 last week. So I've been doing relatively well overall, 98th percentile overall here. Again, not too bad, but it's kind of where I hope to be. I'm hoping that one of these weeks I actually get like a 14 or 15 win week. But thank you guys for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and as always, rise up.